Okay, so today we are looking at all of the books that I DNF'd in the season of summer. Over in Australia, summer is over, so we're going to go back and one of my goals is to continue with my seasonal DNFs. What I do in this video is I take a look at all of the books that I did not finish in that season and I talk about them with you guys. So let's get right into it. Now, in Australia, summer spans over the months of December, January, and February. And, interesting news, good or bad, depending on how you see it, in the month of December, I DNF'd zero books. Goose egg. So, no books DNF'd in December, but I did DNF some books in January, so let's take a look at what those books were. Foul is Fair by Hannah Capin. Now, this is an ARC, which is an advanced reader copy, which is why the title is not on the cover, but it's right there. Foul is Fair. I did not get that far into this book at all. The reason why I DNF'd this one is because it was kind of just way too much, way too soon. Chapter 1 just opened up with this imagery, this description, if you will, that really just turned me off from the book. So we open up with this girl who is holding a knife. And the metaphor for the knife is that it was so sharp that even just by looking at it, you will bleed. And for me, this was just way too much for me. Now, I have no problem with violence in a book, but the problem with this book for me is that it happened way too soon. I had no time to be invested in the characters or even know what the heck is going on, and suddenly I am faced with a knife that's so sharp that it's going to cut you as soon as you look at it, and you're going to bleed as soon as you look at it. It was just way too much, and what that showed me was that it just wasn't the type of book for me. But if you have read Foul is Fair by Hannah Capin, and you know if it gets better, or if you want to discuss it with me, please do discuss it with me in the comment section below. Princess Ben by Catherine Gilbert Murdoch. Now, the reason why I DNF'd this book is because it was way too description heavy. The ye olden English, if that makes sense, and I really, to be honest, I just wasn't in the mood for it. I was never a mood reader in 2020, but I have become one in 2021. And there have been times where I've DNF'd books purely because I'm not in the mood for them, or I just don't have the patience to get through them. And with this one, I was so excited to go into this book. It really disappointed me having to DNF it because I love regal, royal types of books. And so to have a book about a princess, oh my goodness, yes, I'm on board. To have a book about a princess, a girl whose name is Ben, really intrigued me as well. I want to know how that came about. But the whole, what I'm calling ye old English in this book, it just really threw me off. It was just way too much. When I read a book that's not written with modern day language, I feel like I need to translate in my head what is going on with every single sentence that I'm reading. And, you know, if I'm playing host to translating, to being a translator with what I'm reading, I can't really focus on what's going on because my focus is more on translating what I'm meant to be getting from the book. So that's why I end up DNFing this one. But if you've read Princess Ben, just like with Foul is Fair, let me know in the comments below. You know, is it a good book? Should I go back to it and reread it or give it another go? The Tower of Fools by Andrzej Sapkowski, I believe is how we say his name, but if I'm butchering that, I apologize, and please do let me know in the comments below. Feel free to let me know, I'd rather get a name correct. Anyway, I started reading this book, I was excited, I love the cover, I mean, just having that goblet there, it just really intrigued me. I read the premise, and it seemed like the premise was about these people that were in some kind of asylum or something like that, and then fantasy, you know, comes into play, and yeah, it's right up my alley, but unfortunately I started reading it and it just wasn't for me. I wasn't clinging to it at all. I just didn't feel invested in the book, and so I DNF'd it. So I can't really say there's anything outright wrong with the book, not at all. It just wasn't the book for me. House of Blood and Bone, the first book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. Okay. So the basic premise of this book is that we are following a woman or a girl who has, shall we just say, has magical abilities, and there are some issues going down in the magical community that she needs to go and take care of, and so she's paired up with someone else who has magical abilities, and they need to go and take care of what's going on. The premise, amazing. I'm definitely on board for those sorts of things, but I have to say, and this is just for me, a lot of people love Sarah J Maas. They love the Crescent City series, so that's wonderful. And if you are one of those people that, if you're watching this video and you love this series, please do let me know in the comments below, because you might change my mind. But for me, I think I got a decent chunk of the way through. I take bookmarks out when I DNF, so I don't know where I got to, but I would say at least 200 pages in, if not more. And the thing is, I personally, and I do apologize, but it is my personal opinion, so I feel like I can say it. For me personally, I just found this book rather boring. It just wasn't grabbing my attention. Yeah, I don't know if it was the writing style or a combination of the writing style and the way that it was, being executed, the execution of the book, but I just wasn't enjoying myself. And if I'm bored reading a book, what better reason to DNF than that? Especially when I have all these other books that I do need to get through that are on my physical TBR. But it just wasn't grabbing me at all. Sometimes with books that aren't grabbing me at the beginning, I do try my best to push through. But with the case of House of Earth and Blood, I just didn't feel that that was going to be the case. So I DNF'd this one. But again, do let me know. Sound off in the comments below as to why I was wrong to DNF this book. And maybe you'll motivate me to pick it up in the future. Who knows? But for me, it was just too boring for me. The final book that I DNF'd in the season of Australian summer was this book, which again was really disappointing. Wicked by Gregory Maguire. Ever since the musical of Wicked came out, I always wanted to see it, but I just never got the opportunity. So when I found out that it was originally a book, I got incredibly excited and just ended up purchasing it on a whim. I did pretty good with this book. I got up to, I remember quite clearly that there was a certain part. There are a number of parts in this book. Maybe not as good as I thought. I got up to page 83, which took me a long time to get there, which is why I think I read a lot more. This book just wasn't reeling me in any way, shape, or form, which was really disappointing because I really wanted to learn the story about what was going on with Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West. Having seen The Wizard of Oz many times, I wanted to see things from her perspective and see how, things were playing out with that. But I just couldn't do it. A little bit of a heads up, I was able to eventually watch the musical, and I do have to say, I get that this is booktube, but for the sake of I DNF'd Wicked, the book, I can talk about Wicked the musical. The musical was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Do I think it's going to inspire me to go back and read this book? No, because I have what I need. I have worked out everything I needed to. As far as the songs that I always know the songs before I know the actual musical, but as far as the songs, I've been able to make that connection. And as far as the story, watching the musical, I was able to gain the story. And the musical is, the script for the musical was written in modern day language, and it was just really easy to understand, where the book is certainly not. So I don't know when this book was originally published, but it's not written in modern day language. Okay, so it was originally published in 1995, which is interesting. That's okay. It is what it is. To me, 1995 is, well, it's not modern, and I know that, but I kind of feel like it is. I was a child in 1995, so I was around then, But anyway, this book, the reason I DNF this book is very similar to why I DNF Princess Ben. The writing style was just too much for me, and so I just didn't appreciate it. But if you love the book version, if you love Gregory Maguire's version of Wicked, please do let me know in the comment section below. But that is it. These are the 5 books that I DNF'd in the season of summer. How many books did you DNF over the course of December to the end of February, with whatever season that was in your area? I mean, for some of you, you were going through winter while we went through summer. So whatever season that was, how many books did you DNF over the course of the last season? Do comment below and let me know. But that is where I am going to leave it for today, letting you guys go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Mwah! Thank you so much for watching, and happy reading!